Hi everyone, welcome to the September online chapter meeting of the Building Designers Association of Australia. It's a beautiful spring day here in Tasmania. Hope it's shining where you are. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Binns and I'm the host of the online chapter meetings. Sarah Jane manages the technology in the background. It's great to have you with us today. I can see some of you are posting messages already, so thank you. Let us know where you're logging in from. It's great to have you. So the BDAA National Design Conference is coming up on the 7th and 8th of October, and you'll be receiving full details of that this week. The events team are locking in the final speakers, and I can give you a sneak peek regarding some of the topics that will be covered at the conference. There will be international keynote speakers discussing building science, energy efficiency, bushfire, and some design software tutorials. Also for BDAA members, this year there are golden ticket events, which are events with a limit of 15 guests. So it's first in best dressed. And these golden ticket events are free for all members. So keep an eye out for the conference registration details coming your way. Next week, we also have a formal CPD presentation by Laguna Pools. They'll be taking an in-depth look into pool planning, documentation, and the development approval process so that you can walk away comfortably knowing that your next pool collaboration will provide you with the best outcome for your clients. Sarah Jane's going to put a link in the chat box now to register for the event. And this one's a free CPD event. And a reminder to all ABSA accredited thermal performance assessors, there's a meeting on at 3 p.m. today to discuss the proposed NCC 2022 changes for Class 2 buildings with respect to the energy efficiency provisions and condensation management provisions. So if you're a thermal assessor and you haven't registered for this meeting, Sarah Jane will put the link in the chat box now for you. So before we start our presentations today, I'll just do a quick run through of the Zoom tools, although we're all probably getting very familiar with them now. You're welcome to ask questions throughout the meeting using the Q&A box, and our presenters will answer questions either throughout the presentation or at the end. The Q&A feature allows you to upvote topics, which just helps them get to the top of the queue. If you'd like to ask a question via audio, there's a raise your hand tool, and we just ask that you check there's no background noise that will interfere with the audio when we unmute you to ask your question. This doesn't get used much, but you are more than welcome to ask a question over audio if that's your preference. The chat box is there as a continuous message thread for comments, and Sarah Jane will use the chat box to post links. So comments in the chat box and questions in the Q&A box so they don't get lost. So moving on to today's presentations, our first speakers are Adrian Mirafiotti, CEO, and Amber Johnson, the Business Development Manager of ArchiPro in Australia. Amber is going to show us around this new platform with Adrian, and that ArchiPro have a mission of simplifying the building process and a belief that architecturally designed spaces should be more accessible. ArchiPro will be launching in October with tailored Australian projects, products and professionals, and we are excited that our members are the first to learn about this tool. So have we got you online, Amber?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome. If you're ready to go, I'm going to hand over to you.
Excellent. Thank you for having us today. We're thrilled to be here and be presenting ArchiPro to the BDAA. It's a fantastic success story. We've been around for 7 years in New Zealand. We actually had our 7th birthday on Friday, and our founder created ArchiPro. He was actually in the building and design space, and he was quite frustrated and had a few bad experiences. And from a bad experience, a good experience is born. So he actually flipped and sold all his houses and put, $1 million investment into this platform 7 years ago. And here we are today. And we are proud to be presenting to you and launching in Australia. So we're very much committed to architecturally designed spaces and buildings that will shape the future for generations to come. We definitely have two stakeholders of the business, one being that customer story that our founder had, where people didn't have an effective, trusted way to find professionals and products online. Anyone can jump on Google and do a Google review, but is that professional a trusted and verified source? And the other is people such as yourself that want to be in front of people from beginning to end of the design process. We all know that this process is not a short one. It's a good 2 to 4 years. So there is absolutely no wastage with our audience. The audience that we deliver to you are very much actively involved, building houses or creating architecturally and design spaces within. So once you go into the ArchiPro platform, I'm going to show you today how we connect customers and clients all in one, and it's really been created as a design solution for you. And once you're in the platform, you really don't need to leave it. So we have our 3 pillars, which are our projects, our products, and our professionals. We also have an incredible design board feature, and it's been getting the most positive feedback in lockdown because it gives you the ability to work remotely with your team and, more importantly, streamline your clients' purchasing decisions. So our platform is definitely created for business. Woods Bagot came on board in the very early days. They saw it as a wonderful way to be able to showcase all their local work on a digital platform. We also had HDR recently join, and they were in the process of moving offices, and they had the problem of what to do with their traditional materials library, and then we came along as a digital solution. So I'm going to show you today how we build out the power of our network, and we work with you to do that third-party trusted verification. And we're just going to jump now straight into the platform. So what you're seeing is a slightly different view to when you go on to ArchiPro. This is the design board feature, which is free for everybody to use. And when you sign up to the design board, it's a little bit like when you sign up to a social media platform, you get your own personalized page. Now, it has a look and feel very much like Pinterest, but it has the added functionality of linking you back to the local source. And that's the local source of professionals such as yourself, and also the local source of products. So what we can do with the design board feature is we can create different projects and give them different titles. Then we can upload information, external documentation such as quotes, any plans, specifications, and then you can invite your team to collaborate. So again, fantastic for working remotely. And what I'm hearing more and more is this is a great opportunity to flip the design process and actually get your client to jump onto ArchiPro, create a design board for you, share it with you, and you'll see here on the left, everything is very centralized and organized so that all your conversations are in the one place. So what I'm going to do now is go into the project section, which is how people start their journey. They come onto ArchiPro, they're looking for inspiration, and you'll see over on the left, we have very detailed breakdown of the different sections. We take a little look into the residential. You can go into new builds and you'll see all the different areas. And what that means for you is it gives you the opportunity to showcase your work in all the different areas of ArchiPro. And that's what we want. So when you come on board with us today, you'll basically be given a dedicated account manager who will work with you and be able to list your projects in all these different areas. And what that means is it just gives you more opportunity to be seen, more opportunity to be found, and gives you greater share of voice and be able to showcase your work in a digital format. And now I'm going to take you into a specific project. We just have a little look. I promise you by the end of this presentation, you'll be wanting to move to New Zealand because there's some gorgeous work there. So now we go into what would be your actual project profile. So we have the beautiful hero image up the top. Then there'll be a link to your website, the ability for people to save it directly to their design board, the feature I showed you before, and then they can inquire straight from the platform. We just have a little bit of a privacy opportunity there where you can either share your phone number or not. I won't expand on this information here about the project because it's quite detailed. And then if we go down, there's 3 more touch points for them to contact you, and then we start getting into the project. And I touched on before the tagging feature. By the way, we do all this work for you. So please remember, we've been around for 7 years. So we've got our processes and our systems all down pat. So I understand everyone in lockdown is pretty short on time, lucky for those states that are not. So you will get a dedicated client manager who will work with you, build all of your profiles and put them across the different areas to be seen and build out this unique tagging feature. So why we do that tagging feature is we want to give people that trusted third-party verification. And then you'll see when I get to the bottom of the page, everyone that has been associated with this project in a product sense and also in a professional sense. So that's all about that cross-verification and third-party trust, which is what I touched on at the beginning of the presentation. So now we're going to go into our product section. We've got over 26,000 products. We're just in the process of localizing all these products. So if we jump into this one here, you'll see some lovely images of the product being used. And then when you go down here, you can jump straight onto the specifications. So everything that we've done has been done with a mindset to save you time. So this is a fantastic design opportunity. You can jump on, your client has sent you this and said, I really like these tiles. You can have a look. If you like them and they work as far as specifications, you can save those to the design board, straight away message the seller, or go to the website, or if you go down a little further, you'll be able to see the product, some more style guides, and also what they've done in that range. If it's a range that you're really enjoying working with, then you can just go across there and again, save it all to your design board. So it's all about a time-saving tool and a fantastic research tool, along with the ability to showcase your work. So we have many categories up here in the products section. So you'll see everything is detailed in bathroom, building, finishes, etc. So if I expand on those, you'll see subcategories as well. And that's just, lighting is such a big category. I think we all agree that it's great to have this time-saving tool. So what I'm going to do now is go into the professionals area. So the professionals is your dedicated area where you'll get your own profile built. There's a couple of different ways that people can find you according to the navigation on the left. Then we're going to have all the Australian regions down here as well. But if they know what they're looking for, we can just jump straight in here. And we can just jump straight into an example. I'm taking you to this client because they've used ArchiPro to the best of their advantage. So you'll see, you'll get your profile tile, and then you will choose your hero image. You'll have a link to your website, the ability for people to save it to their design boards, and of course, they get in touch. So we really work like a website within a website. The only difference being is we have a big search engine optimization team. So what that means to you is that we SEO tag every single one of your individual projects. We also, as I said before, we build out your professional network. And if you have a couple of different locations, we can include those there as well. I want to show you how they have best used the projects here. So they have our projects, then they have the projects that they've been tagged in, which means they haven't done the whole project, they've just done part of the project. And then you'll see it broken down by the different categories. So if we go in and take another look at a dedicated project, and remembering this is the opportunity for your work to be seen in all the different areas of ArchiPro. Going down, we build out the tags for you, which builds out your professional network and gets to showcase all your beautiful work in a centralized way. We generally start with the exterior and then we start moving into the inside of the house. The tagging can be as detailed as you like. See, for example, here, this client has gone into quite a lot of detail and even included furnitures and fixtures along with, you know, the paneling. It's just a beautiful visual representation, and you're able to be able to go through all the different areas. And remember that they're all SEO optimized, which means every time someone clicks on your project, that your Google ranking will just automatically go up without you spending any investment. And that's because we do all of that with our search engine optimization team. So we look after all that in the back end, and you get the lovely association by being a partner with us. So I'm going to now jump back into the presentation. Yeah, and there's just a really nice quote here from the Woods Bagot team. Obviously, the interiors saw it as a fantastic way to stay on the forefront of research and be able to find exemplary products, ensuring the best. We have more social media touch points than any other brand in our field. We've just hit the 100,000 mark on our YouTube channel, and our Instagram is just under 85,000. So what that means is we really know when we switch on the .com.au on October the 22nd, how to get to that 1 million sessions. And we normally have an average session of around 14 minutes. So it's a highly engaged audience without any wastage. And today, through the BDAA, we are inviting you to be a foundation partner. And what that means when you come on board with us today is we will work with you and build your membership profile. You'll have a dedicated client manager who will do all the building of your projects and your profile, work with you to get all your case studies, build out the tagging function, build your professional network. As I touched on before, we will SEO optimize every single one of your project pages. And once you're happy with the end result, we will hand that over with a login for you to self-manage. And today, as negotiated by the BDAA, we're inviting you on as a foundation partner. So for the month of September, it will be a lifetime membership at $380. So you'll pay once, and that will be one time only. There'll be no additional fees, no reoccurring costs, and we will do all of the building for you. So yeah, it's a really great opportunity to come on board. And like I said, we've got 7 years of history. We just celebrated our birthday on Friday. So we definitely know where the direction to take this once we launch in Australia on October the 22nd. So we do have a really nice link that is going to be shared, which is going to make things super easy for you to be able to sign up today. And in the near future, once you've joined us, we will have the opportunities to work with you on some socials. Like I said, our social channels are very big, and we are doing a referral program at the moment. So if you do refer anyone else and they come on board, we will do a dedicated content story about your business. And that is ArchiPro. We're super excited to be able to present this lifetime membership opportunity to you today.
Thanks, Amber. That all looks beautiful. Adrian, are you wanting to answer some questions? Can you?
Yeah, I certainly can.
Can you see the questions that have been posted up there?
I can. I've got them in front of me. I thought it might be easier just to kind of talk through them as opposed to typing. Yep. So in no particular order, can clients find me by location? Yes, that'll be a feature of the Australian platform. Absolutely, we'll have that regionalised so they can. In terms of differences with our competitors, there's many differences with our competitors. So to name a few, we target both the B2C and B2B community, and we do that in the all-in-one platform. We are an invite-only platform as well, whereby you need to be part of an association or a body. unlike other platforms where anybody can list a profile on there, so it's highly vetted. In terms of the curation, as you would probably have seen just then, it's kind of highly curated, and the quality of the content is of a standard to represent the brand in a very, very clear, consistent way. We have offline elements to it through EDMs and our socials, and also an offline version of the online platform through targeted exhibitions as well. So many differences with other competitors there. Do I have to pay to promote my profile after my profile has been populated? No, so what we do is through the interactive tagging feature and kind of your ability to be found kind of indirectly, that's the power of the platform as well. We will be having opportunities to send out EDMs and to send out socials whereby you could take out placements in there if you wanted to, but the power of our network is the ability for your profile to be optimized and found in multiple different ways through people using the site. So by being on the platform, you are getting promoted all the time. And the other beautiful feature about that is that we randomize the site at 3 a.m. every day, so everybody has a fair share of voice when it comes to the platform. So there is no one partner that can pay any more money than another particular partner on our platform to get a greater share of voice. We absolutely do this through a randomized fashion. And in terms of the last question around product specs, including environmental, carbon, supply chain information, yeah, from that perspective, it absolutely does. So we work with the product suppliers to include all of that information for all of that products. So when it comes to people specifying, when it comes to people looking to choose particular products, they have all the relevant information there. So in summary, as Em kind of mentioned, it is the only all-in-one platform that touches every single part of the building journey, all in one place, curated in a way that represents and showcases your brands in absolutely the best light. So really connecting the community and connecting the entire industry like no one before. So hopefully that answers all of your questions. I'm happy to take any further questions if there are any, or at least
sorry, Adrian, there's just a couple of other questions that have been posted in the chat box, which I might just read out for you.
Sure.
So Dave has asked, do we need to be registered as a BDAA member or an architect? And are these checked before uploading professionals, presumed, to the site?
Yeah, so you need to be part of an association or a body. As I say, it's a very strict vetting process that we go through. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is trusted products, professionals and projects, all local, with local regulations as well. So the way we do that is to ensure that you are from a body, an industry body or association. So that provides the end user the comfort that if they're selecting a particular product or professional, that they are a trusted source. So that's absolutely something that we do require.
Great. There's another question. What sort of depth of products and specifying do you anticipate having in the short term?
That's a really good question. So we anticipate, based on our trajectory at the moment before launch, we'll have 100 odd product suppliers by the 22nd of October. And we, on average, are having between 600 and 700 products that are coming on board as well. So we're going to have quite a wide range of products that come on board for launch, but that's growing exponentially as we speak. So we've got a team that are dedicated to going out to market to have those conversations at the moment. And we've already seen a great uptake to put their products on board. Again, for them to be part of a foundation offering such as the one that we're offering the BDAA at the moment, it's already part of that community from the start. So people are looking to take that opportunity up for us now as we kind of build out our community and really connect the industry in a way like no other.
Great. I don't know whether you can see, there's just a few more questions that have been posted in the Q&A box. Can you see those ones?
I've got one now. How will the general public know about our site? A great question. So I am just about to push the button on a PR marketing campaign above and below the line that starts from October 1. So we've got a heavy investment between now and the end of the year and beyond, whereby we'll be marketing our platform to the general public in multiple different ways. So a heavy PR and marketing campaign. If I read through the questions, great to see ArchiPro coming to Australia. Please point out that the quality of photography, etc., needs to be very high? 100%. So in terms of all the imagery, it needs to be high res, minimum of 1100 pixels to be able to come onto our site. We selectively go through that with every single client, and we vet, like we vet the professionals and the products, we also vet the imagery. So one of the things I touched on earlier, we are at an absolute standard in terms of the curation of our site. And this is all the way through to the quality of the images that come on. So we absolutely will be vetting that. Would you recommend for someone who has never been working independently, yet planning to expand their network, to join? Any issue with showcasing the company's own images? No, I think it's an opportunity for everyone to join. Absolutely. I think that's the power of the network. We are bringing every single body within the network, within the community, in the industry, into this network there. So I think there's opportunity to come for everyone. And I think the beauty of it is that the offering that the BDAA has worked with us on in terms of the $380 one-time lifetime membership, it represents such great value that it really does work for everybody that's wanting to come on board. So I'd absolutely encourage that, yes. And the last point I think there, unless there's any more, is the pricing slide said lifetime, but in the fine print was $1,000 per annum. No, that is, so let me clarify on that. The standard price is $1,850 per annum. So that is a normal price that we would be moving to as we progress in the Australian market. For now, the offer to you is $380, one-time lifetime membership, no ongoing cost. No subscription fee, no additional cost. You simply pay one time, $380, and we will build the profile for you. We will upload the projects for you, and you'll be on our site as part of our community for life. So no additional costs whatsoever.
That seems like an incredibly valuable offer.
It's a hugely thank you. It's a hugely valuable offer, and you know, for us, it's really about coming into the market. And as I said, we have a very clear mission of what we wanted to do, and that's improving the quality of life of every Australian over the next 50 years, and doing that through great design, great products, and great professionals. So for us, it's about building that community from the start, and then kind of working towards that mission and really simplifying the end-to-end building process. So for us, it's hugely valuable to get trusted professionals such as yourselves onto the platform straight away as we build out our community. And that's why our offering is so strong, and one that we're really proud to be able to present in partnership with you, the BDAA.
There's just a comment that Nick's posted saying the reference to architectural build on the website may have an impact from Architectural Registration Board for building designers.
We're changing that because we were working off the New Zealand website. So they've got different legals, as you guys have different legals in each state. So don't worry, we'll be changing that to reflect the Australian market. And we're also going to be sharing a link into the chat, which is an automatic sign up. So you just put your details in there, and then you secure your spot in the lifetime membership. So that's coming through because I can see some people asking for our contact details, and we're super excited to have you go on board as foundation partners.
Andrew has asked, who owns the content on your site?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the content is owned by the client, absolutely. But as the content comes onto the site, on the back of that, we will then promote your business using that content. So the photography or the licensing agreements that are in place cover platforms such as ourselves to help promote our clients' profiles and businesses. So it's all covered under the licensing agreements with the photographers on the platform. So we are essentially an extension of your website and used in a way to promote your business, hence the reason why the content is used in that fashion.
And this offer is open for the month of September. So it's open to the BDAA members for the next 4 weeks.
Mauricio has asked, what about landscape architects?
Yep, absolutely. So part of the platform is covering absolutely everybody to do with the build and architecture industry. So if you think about every service that is part of that, we will be looking to bring onto the platform as a member only, invite only, and also your products. So everything you can touch, feel and see, everything to do with the entire building industry we will be bringing onto the ArchiPro platform.
I think that there's just a couple more questions that have come in. Will you be creating Australian local videos for your YouTube channel?
Absolutely. So one of the things we're going to be doing from October the 22nd is moving to Australian products, professionals and projects. And obviously part of that will be content. And the great thing about that is that we're looking to use some of the content for the foundation partners such as yourselves if you sign up through this limited time offer, whereby through our marketing and our PR plan, we're going to be driving that, the uptake from an end user perspective with content. And we're going to be looking to use some of our foundation partners content to do so. So it'll be localized in direct answer to your question. But the extension of that is we'll also be looking to some foundation partners to use their content in our marketing PR plan, should they want to, obviously. And that gives them an opportunity to kind of further promote their business.
Okay. Larissa has asked, what happens when you want to add ongoing products and projects?
You can add unlimited projects or products. There is no limit to that. There is no additional cost to that. You'll have a dedicated client manager who will be at your disposal, at your beck and call for always. And you can work with that particular person to change your projects, to update more projects, multiple things around, down the track. There's going to be additional opportunities if you're wanting them to. There's no obligation to kind of further promote it if you're wanting through other channels. So you can work with your client manager to do all of that. That's where we'll have absolutely the people supporting you every step of the way, from the content build, so you don't have to do anything there, but also the ongoing management. And we'll also have, in time, some business analytics where we can actually start to track and tell you who's visiting your site, what are the conversions on there, so we can start to get very detailed information to help you in terms of some decision making for the platform as well. So all of that will come part of this membership, no additional cost, and you'll have that as a resource ongoing.
Fantastic. And I think a couple of last questions. Cassie has said, can students who are not yet registered take advantage of this one-off offer?
And students, sorry?
Can students who are not yet registered and are not members of an association in their own right take advantage of the one-off offer?
No, we need to be part of the association. So as per my original comment. So in order to have the trusted, vetted professionals that we are promoting on our site, they need to be part of the association or a body to be able to become a member.
And that's okay if they're a student member of the association?
What we can do is you can join up and just wait till, because then you want to secure the lifetime membership opportunity. And then when you're accredited, then we start building out all your profile of your projects. Yeah, so you can come on board and we can start with your profile, but we just won't be able to showcase your projects because you have to be accredited. But if you're working towards that, that's absolutely no problem because you want to secure the lifetime opportunity.
Great, okay. So David has asked, so why use ArchiPro versus House? I think you've covered that earlier.
Yeah, the feedback I get when I'm presenting in market is we've really consciously or unconsciously taken all the best parts of all the different platforms locally and globally and built them into one space. So that's been a 7-year process, and I'm constantly getting feedback that we do have all the little best pieces in one seamless solution.
Yeah, I'm happy to cover that in a little bit more detail if you're wanting to, but I think I covered that early on just in terms of some of the key differences across all of our competitors as well, not to mention the pricing model in and of itself, which is obviously with the one-off fee right now, really is one of the major differences also.
Sure. Okay, I think that is everything unless I'm missing anything. Sarah James just pointed out for me that students can join the BDAA for free. So it's just a reminder for the students out there to become a member of our association. And yes, thank you. I think that we've covered all the questions.
Well, no problem at all. And absolutely, if there are any additional questions, absolutely feel free to reach out to us. But as Amber's mentioned, I believe the link is in the site for you to simply click on register, and then we can kind of get that accepted and set up straight away. But listen, thank you for your time. Really excited to have the partnership with the BDAA, and really thank you for allowing us to present to you what is absolutely a truly amazing offer and opportunity, and can't wait to bring it out to market with you guys as well. So thank you.
Thank you, and thank you very much for the offer. And this is a reminder: this is an offer for BDAA members. So non-members, please join the association to take advantage of it. Thank you very much for your time today.
No worries at all. Thank you. Take care.
Okay. So I'm going to move on to the next presentation, which is Alison Shaw from the Right Grant. Have we got you online, Alison? Alison is going to discuss with us the process of identifying government grants and preparing and submitting details for these funding applications. Are you there, Alison?
Sorry, Jen, I was just transferring Alison across now.
No worries. Hi, Alison, welcome.
Hi, sorry.
You all right?
Yes, no, I'm good. Yep.
Are you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
I will hand over to you.
Thank you. Good to go. Hello, thank you so much, Jennifer and Sarah Jane from the BDAA, for inviting me to present today. As Jennifer said, I'm Alison Shaw from the Right Grant, and I'm talking to you from sunny Queensland, Western Queensland, in fact. So I am a grant writer, and I have been writing grants for 13 plus years. I've honed my skills within working in the local government space. Then I was, people kept asking me to write grants for them, and so I set up my own contract business, the Right Grant, in 2018. I prepare submissions across all genre: infrastructure, tourism, business, arts, sports, heritage. I love infrastructure grants the best. I am also a partner in a business called Tambo Teddies, and we manufacture and retail sheepskin teddy bears through 2 bricks and mortar locations as well as online. Love to see lots of hands going up saying you've heard of us. If not, check us out. But I'm not just telling you about that because I want you to buy teddy bears. I've secured in 2021, this year, I have secured $30,000 of government grants for our business, a $20,000 federal grant and a $10,000 state grant program from a state program. So I understand grants, and I also understand how to marry the two together, and business and grants, and how to marry them together. Now I need to share my screen with you now. And bring up my PowerPoint. That's, whoops, and I'm right at the wrong side of the I've been practicing actually, so that's why. So securing funding, securing grants. The first point I want to make is that there's no such thing as free money. Grants are public money, and you don't just get free money. You don't just get access to public money. You've got to work for them, whether it's from a state, federal, local government, or a philanthropic organisation. You've got to work, and the process must be open and transparent. They aren't like a lotto, though once you've secured one, you feel like you've won lotto. My view of grant writing is marketing. My degree is actually a Bachelor of Business in Marketing. So when I'm writing a grant, I'm selling my project. It's my product that I've got up for sale. I'm communicating the unique selling position. I'm communicating the value of my project to the funding body with the aim of achieving a financial transaction, the aim of achieving them giving me the funding, the grant. So we want to sell our projects to the funding body. A grant application must communicate why the money is needed. Why should the funding body support it? who benefits and how. So, you know, when you're looking at a grant, start thinking about what's in it for the funding body. Why should they give you money? It's not all about what you want the money for. It is also about why they should give it to you. So funding bodies are looking for things like value for money, like anyone buying or purchasing anything. They're looking for longevity. They're looking for a good deal. They're looking to support quality projects. They're looking for reach. They want their funds to help as many people as possible. Now, one of the key things for a business grant is that a business orientated grant must still communicate community benefit. Now, it might seem a bit of an oxymoron that you're going to looking for money for a business and you're going to talk about the community benefit. But it comes back to the fact it's public money. You've got to communicate why they should give it to you. So where your community benefit from a business perspective comes from is it might be number of jobs you create. It might be supply chains, the fact that giving you money will trickle down through the supply chains. That will then stimulate your local economy within your region. It might be your increased revenue gets expended into your local community. So that's one of the very key things to keep in mind when preparing a business grant. The other little thing to think about is acknowledgement. And this does come after you've got the money, but it's something that you need to acknowledge the funding body. So that can happen via social media, a blog on your website, leveraging a media article, like whether it's a radio interview or a newspaper. Don't be shy to let the media know that you've got this funding, and the funding body will appreciate it. So where do you start? You actually don't start with the pool of money. You start with the planning. You've got to plan your project to increase your chance of success. So, and really planning underpins everything we do. It's going to underpin everything we do as a business. No business activity really happens without good planning. So to get it off the ground, the planning and the research is where the work is. Writing the grant can actually be the quickest part of the process if you're well planned. So have your concept, know what you're wanting to do, source your quotation. You know why you need it. Think about how it benefits, not just your business, of course, how it benefits the wider community. And then this next step is to identify your a potential funding source. And one little thing I've popped there on the slides is beware of program dates. And that's something when you find a funding program, keep your eye on that end date, pop it in your diary. So how do we find a suitable fund for a business? Now, the federal government on their business.gov.au have this grants and programs finder, and that's not just federal programs that pop up through that. And you just enter a few key facts like your location, your number of employees, type of project, whether it's an infrastructure or something, whether you're a business or community organisation, but in this case a business, and it'll bring up potential grants. There's also state government websites. Most state governments have a business section and are providing different grants to businesses over the year, different grants for different projects. So keep an eye on those. So sign up to the newsletters from these funding bodies, from your government, state government. Regional Development Australia committees, they send out really great e-news with long lists of potential grants on quite a regular basis, every quarter or something. worthwhile signing up to. Keep your ear out around government media releases, because you might just hear something on the news about a funding program. Google it. Google, and that keep digging till you find it. And the other one, potential source I've popped up there, is local government websites. Now, I'm seeing more and more of this, that local governments are identifying a way to assist their local economy, stimulate and develop, implement a bit of economic development, is by providing some grants for small business. They're recognizing that supporting small business will develop their economy. So more and more of that is popping up as well. So once you've found a fund, I've just got a few tips here now about how to prepare an application. And I always say this to people: find the fund and read the guidelines twice. Don't just read them once, read them twice. Make sure you're understanding. The first thing to look out for is make sure you're eligible, because there's no point putting in a lot of effort and then finding out you're actually ineligible for this program. Check that date. Make sure you know when it closes. So often, and with government grants, and they're through an online portal, so you have to register. Once you've registered, you're on the portal, there'll be an opportunity to download a sample application form. Get that application form and familiarise yourself with it. Familiarise yourself with all the questions, because there's nothing worse than trying to write an application and then you're under pressure and you go, oh my goodness, I've got all this extra to do that I haven't considered. You won't end up doing your best. So there's some more preparation. Read the guidelines, read the application. Give yourself time. Mark the closing date in your diary. Try not to. I know a lot of us all work well under pressure and things, but really it's much more pleasant if we're not. So when you are writing your answers to the criteria questions, just remember you've got to tell your story. Don't assume the assessor knows anything about you, about your business, about your project. They don't even know where you're located half the time. So you've got to really articulate that story. You must tell them what they're buying and what they're getting for their money and why they should give you the money as opposed to the business down the street. Now, as you're writing this, you've got to make it very readable. You've got to paint this picture very concisely. Use clear, concise language. Use short sentences, not convoluted sentence constructions. Short sentences to the point. Don't waffle. Don't waffle on. Be very concise. Now, another thing about working in a portal is always write it in a Word document first, cut and paste it into the portal. You'll find there's a character limit or a word limit often, and so quite often you have to cut down what you've written to fit. So really good to be concise. People say to me, oh, you know what words to use. I don't use any words I don't use when I might be speaking to people around. I was about to say apart from swear words, you don't use those. But you don't go using big words for the sake of using big words. You're not going to impress the assessor. They want to read a realistic proposal. They want to read something that's very clear and is easily understood. And the other thing about being realistic, that dot point, is make sure your budget is realistic, which probably isn't a problem with a business grant, but often in other funding, where they can bring in-kind support and project other things like that, you've got to be realistic, because nothing stands out more than an unrealistic made-up budget. And the last point I'd like to finish on is just to re-emphasize that even though it's a business grant, you must articulate public and community benefit. That is what will get you over the line before the business down the street. The assessor doesn't want to know that it's going to make you more money. They want to know what you're going to do for your community and for the wider economy if you're given the funding. So that is actually all grants pulled down into a quick nutshell for you. Those are my contact details if anyone wishes to contact me. And I suppose now, thank you, and I'm open for any questions.
Thanks, Alison. There's one question there that says, what about grants for business during COVID?
Well, it's exactly the same process. Make sure you're just keeping on top of them, looking at your local government, your government and state government websites, check what's available, check you're eligible, always check those eligibility criteria, because don't waste your time applying for something you're not eligible for.
George has asked, so what is the New South Wales COVID micro grant? Is that repayable?
I'm not across that one,
Okay.
I'm afraid, but yeah, happy to look into it for you if you want me to.
There's another question in the chat box. How do you have a fee charge? I'm not sure what that, no, maybe you can provide.
You mean as a grant writer charging?
Not sure, but
I suppose, yeah, that how you charge, yeah. So I charge on an hourly rate, and I find that the fairest to all, to both myself and to the organisation I'm working for. Other grant writers work on a commission base and it's not a no win, no fee type system. It is for the work you do. So even on a commission, if you're applying for a $10,000 grant, if they're charging you a 20% commission, that's your fee up front. I don't think that's necessary. I find the hourly rate is the fairest that I charge for the hours that I do.
okay, thank you. John has posted a comment that said this has spurred me into contacting the local city to see what can help my new office space.
Excellent.
I think that unless I've missed any questions, I think that's about it. So thank you very much.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye. So unless there's any more questions, I'm going to wrap up the formal part of the meeting now. There will be a QR code that we will put on the screen for your CPD point. So a big thank you to our presenters and all those that contributed questions, and thanks to everyone for joining us. It's been a really interesting meeting. Because we have the conference in October, the next online chapter meeting will be Tuesday, the 2nd of November at 1 p.m. So keep an eye out for the registration email. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone at the conference. That will be a fantastic event to join in with as well. So bye for now. We'll see you in November.